So tell us about the opportunity around syndication and sort of where you sit in the ecosystem of digital video syndication.
There's a significant amount of publishers and distributors that don't have enough video. These are websites in the long tail to cable companies' websites where they're providing value-added content for consumers to consume. So we're the system of record for syndication for content owners, distributors, and advertisers in some cases. What we do is we connect content companies who have content with those distributors, again, from website to device companies, with that content, and we handle all the rules and so forth between the two. And then we integrate with the advertising networks currently, and we don't sell any ads directly to agencies, but certainly our content owners and publishers are welcome to do so.
So you have a player, and the player sits on the syndication site always, or how does that work?
Yeah, usually the syndication company is using our player, and what we like to say is that it's really the content owner's player. It's not really our player, and I think that's a huge differentiation in the market.
Okay, so, and actually some publishers are using your player in terms of just a general video player.
Exactly. If you think about the evolution of online video, a lot of those services have become commoditized. You don't really just need a player for player's sake. You really need a lot of extra features on top. And I think by providing those features, the other aspect, providing a CMS with the encoding and the playlist management as well as the video player, becomes sort of second nature and something you don't really build a business on.
So how do you convince the publishers to go with you as a syndication partner? Is it exclusive? Is it not? Or, you know, what's the value proposition for them? How do you sell it, and how does that work?
Yeah, so in terms of exclusivity, we're a non-exclusive offering. We do that both on the content owner side as well as the publisher side, and I think that's a critical piece for us because we're not looking to tie people down to a single system. As far as how we approach companies and how we're received, you know, publishers are looking to increase monetization however they can. They're adding third-party content, text and image, they're adding widgets, and video has become a pretty pivotal part for publishers. So to us, it's more of providing all the necessary features that publishers require for them to be interested in taking advantage of our offering. There's a huge long tail of publishers, hard to name off every single one, but a couple of interesting ones that are recent is Clear Channel. Clear Channel, as we know, owns 850 radio stations, very focused on music, but they obviously have an audience that is demanding more content. So we've started a test with a subset of radios to provide them video content, which then is monetized through our ad network relationships as well as Clear Channel's own direct sales.
And how are CPMs and how are the values? And how does that work?
Yeah, CPMs, you know, first of all, revenue is split in our model always. Not always 50-50, that's sort of our default. But a content owner and a distributor sort of decide what those metrics are. But as far as the CPMs, you see a huge range. You know, we are, as a company, working with the Reckitt Benckiser type of advertising campaigns, all the way up to the sort of the premium inventory sold by the Clear Channels or the Merediths of the world, where they could command a higher CPM directly from the brand or agency.
And what's the you know, the opportunity moving forward, and, you know, where do you guys want to be? And also, obviously, the web, you know, the distribution of video is becoming broader through connected devices, through mobile. Where is that going, and how are you going to play in that area?
Yeah, we have a pretty definitive plan in that area. First of all, you know, we've been selected by a major news organization, we can't share the name, to do a lot of their device implementations, and really that sort of fits into our longer term vision. As being the system of record for syndication, it's not really an internet-focused thing or a device-focused thing. What we're connecting are distributors and content owners. So, you know, some of the future plans are getting Meredith, one of our customers, across all the devices so that consumers can consume this content on mobile devices. But if you start to think in the longer term, you know, imagine that Babies R Us could launch their own Netflix for $4.99 with content from a variety of sources. Now, that's not a customer of ours, but that's the vision we're sort of shooting for. That Netflix and a few of the companies like that have really only sort of paved the way for what's going to happen on ad-supported models on television, subscription services, pay-per-view. You're going to see an evolution, and we are actively involved in those areas as well.
What's the downside of syndication? In other words, it's great to say, well, I'm going to have all this sports stuff, or I'm going to have car stuff, but does it always work? If
you are out to provide content to your audience that they want to consume and make a little bit of money from it, it works. But when you start to think about the evolution of your specific brand, if we use Clear Channel, for instance, you're going to see an evolution where Clear Channel starts to produce some of their content, or in some cases, if you think about how television works, these companies can actually put out a bid or a request to make custom content for them. Of course, price points are much different. The economics are different there. But now you're starting to provide your audience that you've garnered through existing content that you've syndicated, and now you're building an audience that is tied in with your own content that advertisers are basically buying against exclusively through a company like a Clear Channel. So I think that there's an evolution that we're seeing, and you want to use syndication as just a stepping stone to other things.